Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. We are all awaiting the squad announcement, but it hasn't happened yet. But that only gives us more time to discuss about the possible team combination and composition for the upcoming matches. But one of the most important questions here will be whether or not the selectors include KS Bharat in the upcoming matches following his poor run with the bat. But first, let me introduce my guests. Joining me today are Ishan Shahane, Shomik Chakrabarti, Shubhayan Chakrabarti, and Bharat Ramraj. Over to you first, Ishan. Do you think KS Bharat hasn't had the best of performances in this particular series? Although it seems like the selectors are backing KS with the many opportunities that he has had. Do you think he'll be named in the squad for the upcoming test?
Yes, Gagi. So I think it's debatable, like mentioned earlier. In my personal opinion, they might have him for another test or so. But in the long run, I possibly don't see KS Bharat being there in the, like in the full-time picture. Rishabh Pant might come in later on as well. We have KL Rahul who can keep. So KS Bharat, unless he really ups his game and ends up performing really well in the next test match and maybe after that, that's the only way I can possibly see him being, like in the side as a permanent fixture. But if you're talking about the next test match, he should be there. I think the Indian, the management might give him another opportunity, but obviously he'll be under a lot of pressure to perform because his performances haven't been up to the standard that is expected. But like Rajaram mentioned yesterday as well, that at the same time you can't expect a wicketkeeper batsman to bat as well. But there should be some performances coming up from his side as well. So it's quite debatable. But I think he should be playing that third test match, Gagi.
And Shubhayan, how do you feel about the continued opportunities that KS Bharat has gotten?
The current Indian team management has given a longer rope to almost every player they have picked in the playing 11. So that's why KS Bharat has been the continuous choice with the gloves in Test format. Yes, KL Rahul kept wickets in South Africa, and that is because it was overseas conditions, and you don't really need that skillful a wicketkeeper that you need in India. But even in the last match, KS Bharat missed a stumping of Ollie Pope. He has missed a couple of stumpings in this series. Not to very critical about because he has done fairly a decent job in the behind the stumps, but with the bat he has been really disappointing because the kind of starts he has gotten. People expect to not throw his wicket away the way he has done in the last couple of matches. So yes, as Ishan said, I think he will get another opportunity before the Indian team management really think about having Dhruv Jurel in the playing 11, because I don't wickets in the series, especially after the quad injury, the quad pain that he had. Sorry, the quad pain he had after the conclusion of the first test. So yes, KS Bharat I think will get one more chance at max. If he doesn't capitalize on that, then we might see Dhruv Jurel keep wickets in the fourth or fifth test.
Shomik, a sort of follow-up question to what I asked Shubhayan is, you usually when a player gets a long rope, we say, oh, there's so many players waiting in line who can do much better. But then when someone doesn't get a long rope, we say the BCCI switches too often between players. When is that right time to say that, okay, it's time to test someone new?
See, if you are good enough, you are old enough. That is to start with. So when Dhruv Jurel is in the squad, that means he is good enough. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been in the squad. Then again, will you throw a youngster in at the deep end? That is the question. With the series tied at 1-1, and like Brendan McCallum said, it's a heavyweight bout going on. The KS Bharat, I mean, you can't help, but you don't have an alternative at the moment, in the sense like KS Bharat's wicket keeping, as Shubhan mentioned, he has missed a couple of stumping chances, but otherwise his keeping so far has been sort of okay. But as far as batting is concerned, Rahul Dravid himself has addressed the issue after the second test at the post-match press conference, saying that Bharat needs to do better with bat. So from that perspective, maybe obviously he will play the third test at Rajkot. But yes, addressing the question, giving someone a longer rope. If you are convinced about someone's talent, you give him a long rope. That is the question. If you are convinced about someone's talent that he will come good, you are you have been watching him day in and day out at the nets, and you know what he can do. Sometimes cricket is, there is a luck factor in every sport. Sometimes what happens, the luck is not going your way and you are getting out, or maybe something. But we all know KS Bharat is a very limited player as far as his batting is concerned. So from that point of view, but at the moment, but and you can't use KL Rahul as a wicketkeeper in Indian conditions on turning pitches. Not only turning pitches, on true pitches where the bounce is not variable, you can use KL Rahul as a wicketkeeper, but not on pitches where the bounce is variable. So what you have to stick with Bharat, and then now you have, if Bharat fails to perform in the third test, then I think the team management will have to look at Jurel, because as I said that if he is good enough, then he is old enough. Then throw him at the deep end.
Plus, Dhruv Jurel has a better average with the bat also in red ball cricket in
Exactly.
Ranji Trophy. Whatever I've seen of him in for Uttar Pradesh, he has stitched many a partnership with Rinku Singh in that middle order. After you see with UP, there's a trend that their top order collapses every time, and then there's a Rinku Singh and a Dhruv Jurel who rescue them almost from impossible conditions. So Dhruv Jurel has that experience, and with our Indian wicketkeeper batting at number 7, number 8 in that slot, I think you need someone who can play that aggressor with the tail as well. And in T20 cricket, Dhruv Jurel is far better cricketer in terms of stroke playing. He's far better than KS Bharat as far as I am concerned.
Yes,
And
and
one more
Bharat,
thing,
yeah,
Rajiv, one more thing, that is Akshar Patel is batting at number 6 and KS Bharat is batting at number 7. That's what happened at Vizag. So the team management itself is not very convinced as far as Bharat's batting is concerned. Otherwise, Akshar Patel is not a number 6 batter. but, but he is coming ahead of number 6 means, Bharat has failed to convince the team management with regards to his batting ability. So we have to keep that in mind also.
yes. Bharat, talking about the future, where do you think Kishan might fit in the squad? Obviously, he's not opted to play at the moment, but do you see him being as a potential wicketkeeper batsman for the Indian team in the future?
Yeah, until Rishabh Pant comes back, they can look at him as a replacement for KS Bharat. But as you know, there are things that are going on with Ishan Kishan that I don't want to comment that whether he's ready to play again or the kind of press conferences that you see from Rahul Dravid. As far as KS Bharat is concerned, I just wanted to add one point.
Hmm.
You know, he started out as a opener in domestic cricket. So he's someone who likes to play pace upfront. He's not someone who likes to play spin upfront. Unfortunately, it so happens that he bats at 7, 8 here for the test team, and he starts against spin. I think that is one of the points why he really struggles against spin. For 7, 8 years, I've always looked at him as someone who is very suspect against spin. So I believe that is why Chase Bharat struggles as much as he does against spin bowling. He's a little better against pace bowling. I've seen him take on the likes of Andrik Norke and Lungi and Gidi when he was playing in South Africa. But against spin bowling, it's a real struggle for him. Yeah, they can look at Ishan Kishan, but as we know, currently there are a lot of things happening with him. So they will continue with, I think, KS Bharat at least for a test or two, and then perhaps look at
Yes.
Dhruv Jurel.
Yeah. Bharat, would you also agree that it's a skill factor here, or it's more of a mental issue that's going on with KS Bharat?
See, Chase Bharat, one thing he does is against spin bowling is he just commits on the front foot. That is, he's always lunging with bat and pad together. That is something Shubman Gill also did in the first test. Then he kind of corrected it in the second innings of the second test, where he was at least going back shorter length deliveries. He was using depth of the crease. But that is, I think, one of the problems with KS Bharat. That means he's not picking the length early
Yeah.
against spin bowling. Over 7, I watched this cricketer over 7, 8 years. He's hard-working cricketer and all that. I agree, but spin bowling has always been a problem for him in domestic cricket as well. So that he's struggling in spin bowling is not something that really surprises me.
Yes, so it's a skill factor.
Devashish, Just a second. Yes, Debashish. So I was asking you, similar question. If at all KS Bharat is benched, do you see KL Rahul or Dhruv Jurel taking his place?
KL Rahul yes, strategy is all. Made it clear that he would not, he would only play as a batter in this series, at least in Indian conditions, in this series. So the question doesn't even arise that KL Rahul will keep wickets in the remaining three test matches. As far as I know, obviously,
Hmm.
then if, and you have someone like a Dhruv Jurel, why not try him? If you feel that KS Bharat is not doing doing that well, means then go for Dhruv Jurel, give an opportunity, and this is a perfect opportunity to try on youngsters because instead of trying a newcomer in overseas conditions, this is perhaps the best conditions to try at home means obvious. So I think obviously JS Bharat might get another opportunity because he has a lot of support from ex cricketers and other means obviously we saw a tweet from Harsha Bhogle, we saw some tweet from Sanjay Manjarekar. So but then it's the team management who makes the call. So people might say from outside every anything that he's done wicket keeping so average, good, whatever. But it's if the team management believes that KS Bharat will get another opportunity, he will be getting another opportunity in the third test. But then the valid point is that when you pick someone and if suppose KS Bharat does well, then you cannot drop him for the fourth test as well. Then what happens to Dhruv Jurel? And by that time, when Rishabh Pant comes back, because the next test series that India plays is a long time away. Because soon after this series, you play the IPL and the T20 World Cup. So the
Hmm.
next test series that India plays is against Bangladesh. So and by that time, Rishabh Pant will be fit. So if you have to try, I think this is perhaps the best time, best opportunity to try someone in Indian conditions and but then KS Bharat, I think he a lot is deserved because in modern day, not only just wicket keeping, you need to produce some runs as well. Yes, he did play that crucial knock in Hyderabad, where he scored that 41 runs. But then to be throwing away your wicket that the way he did in Vizag means it was totally uncalled for.
And Ishan, do you think this long wait for selectors to announce the third squad could be because they are waiting to hear back on Virat Kohli's availability? Maybe Shubhayan might know
Uh,
something about this.
I think only the selectors can answer that actually, Gagi. But it's interesting why they waited so long. Maybe they're just playing mental games with the England squad for now, but it should be out anytime soon. But obviously, a lot of anticipation about Virat Kohli. Obviously, the Indian squad and the team management would have loved to have him. I'm assuming that he might not be a part of the next Test match, but I guess we can only wait and watch for now.
As far as I know, Gargi, Kohli has given a formal email to BCCI that he won't be available for the next three test matches due to personal reasons. Not diving into that, whatever the reason might be, but the selection meeting has happened. It is done. It is dusted. Now we are just awaiting the announcement. It might happen later in the evening, or it might happen tomorrow. So we will get our squad soon, and in the past also it has happened in the BCCI that the selection meeting has happened and it has taken 2-3 days for the squad to come, and the team will only assemble on February 12th in Rajkot. So there's plenty of time for that to take place. So and even informally or formally, all the players would have known by now who are there in play in the test squad. So it's just a matter of a formal announcement.
Yes, and before we wrap up, this is a question that I want to ask everyone. Has the balance shifted to the point that a keeper's batting ability is taking precedence over his glove work at this point in the Indian team? Debashish, why don't you go first?
Yeah, obviously, I mean, modern day cricket, you want a wicket keeper to score runs as well. Means you look at the recent past, be it a MS Dhoni, be it a Riddhiman Saha, be it a Ishan Kishan, be it a Rishabh Pant, everyone has scored runs. And they have scored quite handsomely. Means it's not just as they have struggled. They have scored runs means, at home and away. I mean, take someone like a MS Dhoni means, and Rishabh Pant. We have the best example. that has
Hmm.
transformed the balance of the side. And so it's a need of the hour. Means you have to have wicket keepers who could score runs, who could give you some runs. And obviously, just to be only specialized in one job means yes, that doesn't serve your purpose.
My point is, if you're Shoaib Bashir, Tom Hartley, Josh Hazelwood, Pat Cummins, Mitchell Stark can score runs, then why not a specialist wicketkeeper in a playing 11? That's the basic criteria.
100%.
Shomik?
Yeah, Gagi, the thing is that, sorry, sorry. Gagi, the thing is that balance has shifted long ago since the time of Adam Gilchrist. If you can recall, Saurabh Ganguly played a teenage Parthiv Patel ahead of Ajay Ratra in the early 2000 during his time, and then MS Dhoni came. So balance has shifted long ago. Cricket has changed. So that is one part, and wicketkeeper is an all-rounder. Wicketkeeper, a modern day wicketkeeper should be a genuine all-rounder. Even England, when they play home tests, they don't include Ben Foakes, despite him being the world's best wicketkeeper by a country mile. That's because they trust the bounce there. And still, Johnny Bairstow keeps. So, if they can done away with someone of Ben Foakes' class, someone of Ben Foakes' skill set, which means that the wicketkeeper's job is to. And Ben Foakes is not a mug with the bat. He scores decent 30s and 20s and 30s. But if I mean, the thing is that you want something solid as far as batting is concerned from modern day wicketkeeper. He is a wicketkeeper batsman, not just a wicketkeeper. And just one more, just I will take 30 seconds. Just one more thing about the selection committee meeting that Shubham never did. That selection meeting is over, and the announcement would be coming this week. Just that they are waiting for a confirmation from the NCA physio about KL Rahul and Ravindra Jadeja. As far as our understanding is, Rahul is fit. He will be available for this thing for Rajkot test. Jadeja is 70-30.
Bharat?
Yeah, I don't have much to add about this keeping batting argument that even with Ben Fox, he wouldn't have played in this test series. If Harry Brook had not gone back to England, I think they would have
Hmm.
picked Barristow. Yeah, it might have resulted in England losing the first test because I have a feeling Barristow would have missed a few of those stumpings. He definitely did that in the Ashes. But that is how cricket is this test played. So, and KS Bharat, as I said, it's not like he's keeping like Ben Foakes. He's not been a great keeper in this Test series. I would say he's done a serviceable job, adequate job. It's not like he's been outstanding in the series like Ben Foakes. So yeah, he has to score some runs when it comes to batting. He has to get some runs. So that is where we are because definitely the balance has shifted not just from Adam Gilchrist time, even when Andy Flower was scoring runs in the mid 90s before Adam Gilchrist from that time, I think kind of balance has shifted. And Alex Stewart, England used to try him over Jack Russell in the mid 90s, though Jack Russell definitely was the better keeper of the two. So it shifted long back.
Okay, so that sums up our conversation. We'll be back when we have more updates on this, on the squad selection. So stay tuned to Ref Sports. Till then, we'll be back.